Good afternoon and welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm your host, Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining me at the MarketSite, we have Cohen. He's the head of North American Equities at Nasdaq, and we're going to focus on 2018 key accomplishments with the equities business and, of course, his outlook into 2019. Thank you so much for joining us here today at MarketSite. Now, 2018, it was a busy across all asset classes. Let's talk about Nasdaq equities and some of the key accomplishments.
So we've had a busy and a productive year at Nasdaq, and in particular in equities. On the product side, before I talk about some of the accomplishments there, I'll talk about our focus and what it was in 2018. And it was really about our customers. And so we were really sensitive to customer needs, how we design product, how we think about policy. And a few highlights on the product side for us were changes we've made to the closing cross, MELO, and the trade reporting facility. I'll focus just for a second on the closing cross as an example. For us, we understood the importance of some of the facilities we run. We understood the importance to our customers. And so we sought their input early on before we made these changes. We spoke to them throughout the process. And that got us to a point in time where we could introduce changes to the closing cross or the closing auction that was really well received by our customers, improved the efficacy of the closing auction itself. And as we've seen since we've launched it, we've seen a little bit of uptick in the volume through that auction.
All right, let's talk about policy and regulation. You spend a lot of your time working with market structure. Let's work through some of these with Revitalize, one of our key initiatives here.
Yeah, so with market structure, we try to be thought leaders, and Revitalize is a good example of that. It's been a continued focus for us in 2018, where we care about capital formation, we care about the issuer. So we push through agenda items like proxy reform. We've been on roundtables like thinly traded securities, and we want to, for the issuers and the investor community, position them in the best light, make sure that our markets are there for them when they need it most. Now, we've also had a number of debates this year on things like the access fee pilot and 606, which is a transparency and disclosure item, and other matters. And on those matters, we're trying to bring much more empathy to the conversation by understanding both sides of it, by continuing to be proactive in putting out proposals there, like we've done on market data, but once again, really show thought leadership on behalf of the industry and issuers.
All right, now let's talk about some key events in the markets, because speaking of market structure, how well the equity markets held up through February, for example.
Yeah, so we had XIV happen in February, which was the volatility ETF. It was a levered and inverse volatility ETF. And so what's important to remember, the market worked as it should. A lot of the changes that we implemented in 2013 and 14 really took hold. So you didn't see, or I should say 15, 16, and 17 took hold. So you didn't see the same kind of dislocation in the market that you did on August 24th of 2015. So the market worked as it should. The product generally worked as it should, but there was a misunderstanding about that product. And so now there's an opportunity with the SEC. They put out something in terms of ETF reform that we've commented on. So we think we can move the ETF debate forward. We think we have an opportunity to do that. And that's just one example of something that's happened in the market. The changes we implemented before benefited the market, but now we also have a path forward with the SEC on how to make sure we improve it.
All right, now let's look at 2019 in your outlook. I would imagine the focus again is going to be on product and customers.
It is, and so we'll continue our customer focus, and I'll highlight MELO, which has really been a great product for us. We launched that this year. Next year, we continue to see that we built a brand. We continue to see that we built our customers' trust with this product. It was a new and innovative product for Nasdaq, and we see a path forward for it. So we see how we can innovate on behalf of our customers. So we're engaged with them. We'll probably have 2 or 3 or 4 different versions of it come through the course of 2019, and that's a direct reflection of all the good customer feedback we've been receiving.
All right, now can you give us an update on digital asset strategy? That's our hottest topic on Trade Talks.
Absolutely. So we've been involved, and my team directly has been involved for about a year and a half in digital assets in 2 ways. One is an asset class, the other as a platform, as a technology platform. In terms of the asset class, we are greatly motivated to make sure that we bring infrastructure and credibility and a regulatory framework, if you will, to this asset class. So we might not have a position on Bitcoin or Ether, but we do have a position of this as being an asset class that we want to invest in. We want to make sure we help mature over time. And I would note we made a recent investment in ErisX, which is an indication of that. And we're working with folks like Van Eck on custom indices, which are like indices 2.0 that take into consideration smarter, more careful indexing of these products over time. Now, in terms of the blockchain as a platform, we think 2019, 2020 could be the year of the decentralized application. A lot of work's been built into 2018, so as Bitcoin's price has gone down, as altcoins have gone down, we've still seen a lot of people invest in the infrastructure, which we think is a healthy sign going into 2019 and beyond. So we think the post-trade space is somewhere where we're going to hopefully look to see some solutions come out. But NASDAQ ourselves, we're going to look to make sure if there's applications where it makes the industry or a process more efficient, more productive, we're going to look to apply that.
All right, and let's wrap it up with market structure. What are you going to be looking for from a regulatory perspective and some key events as we go through 2019?
So we have a full slate when it comes to market structure, and the SEC is going to find itself very busy. From our perspective, the access fee proposal is out there. There's more debates to be had and discussion to be had on market data. On both those topics, we want to be thought leaders again, but from the SEC perspective, we hope they take into consideration all the data that's provided to them. We hope there's an articulation of the problems we're trying to solve. So every time we put a pilot forth or a proposal forth that will change the way that our markets work, we hope there's a clear articulation as to what problem we're trying to solve. And then we hope we can be part of that debate. We want to be engaged. We want to understand where our customers are coming from, very importantly, and we want to be in the mix as this goes through 2019.
All right, Tal, thank you so much for joining us at MarketSite.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining me. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.